Tottenham Hotspur's search for attacking reinforcements has gathered pace in the January transfer window, with the club exploring elite-level options as they look to back head coach Thomas Frank and address a clear lack of cutting edge in the final third. Spurs have already moved decisively this month. Conor Gallagher has become Tottenham's first January signing, choosing a move to North London over interest from Aston Villa after completing a transfer from Atletico Madrid. The England international's arrival has been framed internally as a statement of intent, a signal that the club are willing to act early when the right opportunity arises. Now, attention has turned to the forward line. According to reports, Tottenham are among the clubs monitoring Juventus striker Jonathan David, with the Canada international emerging as a potential top-tier target as Spurs assess long-term solutions in attack. Sports Boom report that Tottenham are leading the chase for David alongside Premier League rivals Newcastle United, with Spurs viewing the 26-year-old as an ideal elite-level competitor to raise the standard of their front line. David's profile explains the interest. He arrives with a proven scoring record at the highest level, having left Lille last summer as the club's third highest scorer of all time. During his time in France, he registered 109 goals and 30 assists in 232 appearances, establishing himself as one of League One's most reliable forwards and Lille's record scorer in European competition. Since joining Juventus, David has been used regularly, making 26 appearances this season and contributing 5 goals and 3 assists. While not explosive numbers, his all-round game, pressing intensity and tactical flexibility have appealed to clubs searching for more than a traditional penalty box striker. Tottenham see David as a forward capable of operating across the front line, someone who could compete immediately while still fitting a longer-term squad evolution. However, this is where ambition collides with reality. Juventus are not looking to sell. The Italian giants reportedly view David as a fundamental part of their long-term plans and have adopted a strict not-for-sale position during the January window. With Juve firmly in the hunt for Champions League qualification in Serie A, there is little appetite to weaken their squad midway through the campaign. That stance mirrors the broader market reality Spurs are facing. Quality strikers are scarce, and clubs with leverage are unwilling to negotiate mid-season unless forced. While David has previously expressed a desire to play in the Premier League, and Tottenham, along with Bayern Munich, have inquired about his situation in the past, any January move would require Juventus to dramatically soften their position. At present, there is no indication they will. Tottenham's interest in a striker is no secret. Richarlison's latest hamstring injury will sideline him for up to 7 weeks. Randall Kolo Muani has yet to deliver consistently, and Brennan Johnson has already been sold this month. The numbers are thin, yet Spurs are resisting the temptation to panic. Club sources have been clear that any January addition must improve the squad, both immediately and in the long term. Short-term fixes are not being prioritised, even with the team sitting in the bottom half of the Premier League table. That approach reflects a wider shift in recruitment policy under sporting director Johan Lange, with Tottenham increasingly focused on value, longevity, and squad balance rather than reactive spending. Another striker linked with Tottenham is Brentford's Igor Thiago, one of the Premier League's standout performers this season. Thiago has been outstanding for the Bees, scoring 11 goals in 13 starts, and quickly establishing himself as one of the division's most complete forwards. His form has not gone unnoticed. Tottenham, Newcastle and Aston Villa have all been tracking him, while RB Leipzig, Atletico Madrid and AC Milan are also monitoring his progress. International recognition may not be far away either. Brazil coach Carlo Ancelotti and his staff are understood to be closely following Thiago ahead of next summer's World Cup, with the 24-year-old now firmly in their thinking. But as with David, availability is the issue. Brentford have made it clear that Thiago is not for sale in January. Club sources insist there is no consideration of letting him leave midway through the season, particularly after he missed most of his debut campaign following a knee injury. This, effectively, is his first full season in West London, and Brentford have no intention of disrupting it. Thiago himself is understood to be settled and happy, with no push from the player's side to engineer a move. Tottenham have publicly acknowledged that their current squad is not yet strong enough to compete consistently at the highest level. with Chief Executive Vinay Venkatesham admitting the club must add quality, experience and leadership, while working to repair a fractured relationship with supporters. Writing in the matchday programme ahead of Saturday's Premier League clash with West Ham, Venkatesham struck an unusually candid tone, outlining both the club's recruitment priorities and the wider cultural reset underway in North London. "We believe in our current squad, but must add more quality, experience and leadership to compete consistently at the highest level," Venkatesham wrote. Doing so requires a more proactive approach to recruitment, alongside a wage structure that supports our ambition. The comments arrive at a sensitive moment. Spurs sit 14th in the Premier League, protests are planned by supporter group Change for Tottenham, and patience around the club's long-term project is wearing thin. Venkatesham confirmed Tottenham are actively looking to strengthen during the January window, while stressing that discipline, not desperation, will guide decision-making. "We are fully focused on strengthening the squad in January, where the right opportunities exist," he said. "But we recognise that the most significant player trading activity typically comes in summer windows. The emphasis," he insisted, "is on signing players who genuinely move us forward, rather than short-term fixes that undermine financial sustainability." He also addressed outgoings, making clear that decisive sales are part of the club's strategy. "Player trading's also about knowing when to sell and being decisive about moving players on who are not part of our future," Venkatesham added. "Despite common belief, we are not immune to financial fair play rules. That philosophy has already been reflected in recent departures and the club's refusal to chase stopgap, attacking options despite mounting injuries. Tottenham's intent to professionalise recruitment has been underlined by the appointment of Rafi Moorson from City Football Group as Director of Football Operations. He will report into Sporting Director Johan Langer and oversee player transactions once he formally joins later this year. The move signals a shift towards a more integrated, data-driven approach and an admission that past structures have not delivered consistent results. Perhaps most striking was Venkatesham's acknowledgement of the growing disconnect between club and supporters. "We know there is distance between the club and our supporters, and we are committed to rebuilding that connection," he said. Initiatives such as the new Son Heung-min mural, ticketing changes, a trial singing section, and closer engagement with the fan advisory board were highlighted, alongside a commitment to improving access for younger fans through revised concession policies. The message was clear. Tottenham know trust has eroded, and they know it must be earned back. Head coach Thomas Frank is acutely aware that words alone will not calm discontent. "Connecting is key," Frank admitted. "But I also know in football there is one way of connecting, and that is winning." Despite protests and pressure, Frank's position remains secure, with Venkatesham publicly backing the Dane and pointing to January's arrivals as proof of support. Conor Gallagher's £34.7 million signing and the appointment of John Heitinga as assistant coach are seen internally as signs of long-term commitment rather than short-term appeasement. "I think it's a very good sign," Frank said, "to sign a quality player like Conor in January and to bring in John Heitinga that shows belief in the project, even if from the outside it doesn't look smooth." Frank acknowledged results must improve, but insisted performances are trending in the right direction. Tottenham's attacking problems have been compounded by Richarlison's latest setback. The Brazilian will miss up to 7 weeks with a hamstring injury, sustained in the FA Cup defeat to Aston Villa. Despite that, Frank has ruled out panic buying. "It can't only be for the next 4 months," he said. "We need to think bigger picture." Of course, we know we are a few offensive players down. Dominic Solanke has returned from injury, but with Mohamed Kudus sidelined and Brennan Johnson sold earlier this month, Spurs remain light in forward areas, by choice as much as circumstance. Tottenham have finally said out loud what many supporters have believed for years: the squad lacks leadership, experience and edge. The rhetoric is encouraging, the structural changes make sense, the backing of Thomas Frank appears genuine, but none of it will matter without results. Fans do not reconnect through murals, statements or strategy documents. They reconnect through performances, progress and proof. January is not about saving Tottenham's season. It is about proving the club has learned from its mistakes and is serious about fixing them.